Recorded.
Okay, we'll have a flag salute this morning. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marion County Commission meeting, November 30th, 9 o'clock. I see we have no public comments to start with on the agenda.
Yeah, I don't usually put them on the
Okay.
payday meeting.
All righty, good enough.
I mean, we can't.
I don't see any up there anyway.
There's, yeah, we're the only ones here.
Okay.
Right now.
So we'll move on to administrative business and go with Tina.
Okay. I need to, can we do payday first and
Yes.
then do
Yes,
administrative?
whichever way you want to
Let
do
me go
it.
get the board and the book.
Yeah,
I just need
okay.
to remind Judy to put it on the other way, so.
Okay, all righty.
I need the book and the payroll. Yep. Of course, I forgot. There we go. Okay, let's see here. I will give the sales tax numbers. The sales tax was $66,806.19. Okay, and then we do have some invoices for Western Associates in the amount of $3,313.71.
Okay, do I hear a motion to pay those?
Got a question
Okay.
for Dave. Where am I at?
Look like an answer.
What's the sanitizer? It's gotta be something different than hand sanitizer, doesn't
Maybe
it?
for the health department.
Which?
It's hand sanitizers, probably with printing on it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They bought a bunch of stuff to pass out at the health fairs.
I thought we had cases of that stuff.
Yeah.
What we have is like the alcohol.
Right.
And it's big bottles and it just like runs out. So I do have a bunch of that for down in the election room. I don't know what else that they have, but I think what the health department ordered was promotional with the health department's logo and stuff on it.
Oh,
I really can't, I mean, the deals with Tyler in my office, I really
To
don't
hand
see
out.
anything. with
Yeah,
it.
well, I was just
It's a
curious.
problem, yeah.
He'll find out after today, though.
But I wonder if
Once he hears about
they
it, then
want
it
to try to
becomes
hand
part
out
of.
any of that stuff now, because I'm not.
Then it becomes his department.
It's been printed right, so.
first thing you check when you go back to the office.
I move to approve the invoice Western Associates, $3,313.71.
Have a motion by Dave Mueller to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jonah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
I
4-0.
abstain.
4-1.
I abstain.
You abstain, 4-1.
Okay. And we didn't have any payments to Elcon this time. Sorry, I replaced this, but it didn't take. So the payroll number is not on
Grand
here.
total payday is $1,098,959.38. I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
On the annual service fee for the courthouse, on that,
Oh, I didn't get it.
page 2, 41,216,
Yeah,
is that, does that change annually, or do we have that locked in for a number of years?
it changes a little bit every year, and that's for all of our software package.
Right.
So that's like our tax program, our motor vehicle program.
Yeah, I was just wondering
all
if that's
that.
something that you can lock in for 2 or 3 years, or not?
A lot of the programs you buy for 2 or 3 years at a time.
Well, but this is an annual maintenance fee.
I know, but I mean, the price is locked for 3 years, what you pay. In our bids, annually.
Yeah. I mean, is this the company we've always used or have for a long time?
Yes, I mean, converting, so there is one other major company in Kansas, which is called Computer Information Concepts. And converting all of our systems to that vendor, it would
a big cost.
it would be probably 200 to 225,000 to convert. And then you'd still have your annual maintenance
Yeah,
similar
I
to
was
this.
just wondering if this company would do a several-year package or
I
something,
can find out.
so, because, you know, you never, on those maintenance fees can be a killer.
Now, is this through, I mean,
What?
where did we get introduced to these? Who brought us these guys?
I have no idea, because this is way before my time.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we've been with them
I can't
for-
answer you, Ken, on just when we started it or anything like this. That's
Yeah,
why
we've
I'm-
been with this company,
Yeah.
you know, ever since we've been computerized.
And it's not so much the company, I just wondered if we could lock in the price for
Right.
3 years or
Mhm.
something like
I was
that.
gonna try to bring up, if I can get it to work here, I was gonna try to bring up, shoot, the, what we've paid.
Yeah, I just,
For the past several years.
Yeah, it seems like a waste of money paying for blue sky there.
well, you know, we have to have it.
I mean, yeah, it's part of our business
You know,
too.
it's a big number and it can be open-ended, I guess is what
Yeah.
you'd say.
Well, it's good to question things that sits there for years after years and finally, I mean, that's what we don't want to just not question it, so.
Yeah, and ours is going up next year because of cybersecurity. is
Well, that's just
getting
it, you know,
more
there's
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
there's stuff they do every year.
If I can get this to come up, I'll tell you how much we paid last year.
That's what they blame it on, more than the raise the price.
Let's see.
What's that called? I usually have the little bottom, I flip it up. And then I can send them commission meeting. That's it.
I should do that. I wondered how that's done. I haven't done
I've sent it so many times
that.
that.
Does, let Tina work on that. Does anybody have any other questions on the payroll? Okay.
The function keys on this computer are not the same as my usual function keys, so it makes it harder. Got into a screen I don't want to be in.
First world problems.
I know. There we go.
Well, I was mad last night. I sat on with my help desk for 45 minutes to an hour. They couldn't cut the computer between 6 o'clock and 7 at the office. I said, it's time to go home.
And there might be a way to negotiate with them if they think that we are interested in switching companies, which the other company has been pretty aggressive about trying to get an appointment and
Yeah.
come in and convert us, so. And several other counties have converted, like Harvey and Chase, and some of our neighbors have.
Oh,
So they're running right around
McPherson,
us.
yeah, they're everywhere, so.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have a real technical question, but I keep forgetting which improvement districts are which.
Okay, improvement 2 is the County Lake.
Right.
Improvement 1 is East Shore, I believe, and 3 is Pilsen.
Pilsons, I always forget. I can always remember the lakes.
Yeah.
Just kind of different Pilsons. I knew it was up there north somewhere.
We're not gonna put you under pressure. Kent, I think, would you be satisfied?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't mean to slow anybody down.
I'll second Joe's motion.
I made a motion to approve the whole
The
thing.
motion's on the table. I'll
Okay,
second.
okay. Thank you, Dave Mueller, appreciate that. Get me online here, I appreciate that. So, all those in favor of the payroll figure, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay, and I did generate that, and I'll show it here in a little bit for you.
Okay.
If I can find it.
And if there's something you come across, why, bring it to us, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I will. There's some interest, Register of Deeds would love to switch companies, but, everything else is just working. Everything works great, so I don't, hate to spend extra money and have
Right.
a conversion
Right.
may
Right.
not be needed. Okay, let me try to get back to the packet here.
That's,
Oops. What were you gonna say, Jim?
the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have the minutes of the 22nd.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Jonas, second by Dave Mueller. Any questions? No questions, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay.
5-0.
Oh, here, sorry, we need to sign payroll,
Yep.
payables, payroll, and then the comp time report is here for you to look at.
Bill.
Here's some, that should have been in the mail folder. Here's the signature page for the minutes.
This has the wrong figure on it, is that all right?
What figure you got?
Well, with 538.
Oh,
that's-
okay.
That's payroll.
That's
payroll.
So it's-
Yeah,
Excuse me.
It's not
Say the two match, I was,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we approved payday, this is payroll.
Yeah, sorry.
It's the bill. With the
We
double
got
check.
too many numbers
Yep.
to flip now.
Good double check.
It's interesting to read that, what the highlighted one is there. Thank you for bringing that aboard,
Yeah.
because it's worth taking a look
Worth
at.
looking into. I also sent it to Isaac.
Did you? Good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good.
First.
Yeah.
The headline.
Yeah. See if there's any chance.
Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it? In your packet, there was a notice that the county attorney has appointed a special prosecutor for a couple of cases there. I also had the agenda for the planning commission meeting in your packet. That's for December 2. We already did the sales tax. Oops. I do have some change orders.
There's a lot of red on that sheet, so
Well, that first sheet is last year's, is
Yeah.
prior year taxes, or the one with a lot of red is prior year. The one with just 2 reds is the current year
Oh, okay.
taxes, so these all do require signatures, so. There you go. And that prior years, that's like everything we've done up to now, so there's
Okay.
not that many in the folder. So don't,
The prior years.
My
No
finger- My
worries.
finger was already starting to cramp.
I know.
I'll let you look past those first and we'll get to sign in here. Prior years.
Most of the Republicans won't get much.
Just review.
Let you start those down. Keep it moving.
Hmm. Morning, Brad.
Stick those there for me to sign.
There's a bottom. There's a bottom.
Yeah, there's one.
It's not nearly as many as sometimes.
Prepared for a huge stack. Made it sound like there's 2. Sorry.
you mean the order?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good. Okay, ready for the next item?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a vacancy on the Logan Township Board due to to Larry Cushenberry passing away. He was the clerk of Logan Township. And the recommendation of the other board members is to appoint Yvonne Cushenberry to take that spot as Logan Township clerk. And I believe they've contacted her.
Dave, that's your area up there, correct? You have anything?
I thought she was having health issues.
Yeah, I thought she was in the hospital, but maybe she made it home.
If that's the recommendation of the other members, then I can't. contradict
Right,
that.
right, I just, no, just checking with the,
Yeah, she said she'll do it, then I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I guess we can appoint her, and if that doesn't work, we'll
Yeah.
appoint someone else.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to appoint Yvonne Cushenberry.
okay?
I guess I'll second Ken's
Okay.
motion. It's Jonah's night.
I guess.
You're out this time, bud. Have a motion by Ken Becker to appoint Yvonne Cushenberry in place of Larry Cushenberry, and Dave second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay.
I will officially withdraw my motion. So that way it's not confused, because as far as I know, you can't have a motion on the table without another, so.
Okay, I have a question. There was that company called Reno Dry that came in and presented, and Mr. Don Brown called back and wanted to come talk to you again. Do you have any interest in him being scheduled?
I think I would prefer that if the staff sees a problem in need of a solution, we would seek out their help again.
Any other discussion?
Agree with Jonah.
Any other discussion?
I know that
Okay.
they said that Commissioner Crowfoot said to call to,
Well, they contact us about our building too.
right.
And do you have anything else you'd like to add, Dave? I think you might have used them. I didn't know whether
No,
you
we
did.
have not.
You have not used them, okay.
No,
At this time, I hear
Too
nobody
much money.
interested, Tina, so
Okay.
I would say that do advise staff that if there's something that needs to be looked at, please let us know.
I just told them I couldn't make a decision, had to
Yeah.
pass the buck.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you had a chance to say something if you.
Yeah, no, I do not.
Okay,
And along the line of moisture, I'm curious to see how the improvements result if there are changes once we get into wet.
yeah,
weather season.
yeah, it's gotta be
I
better
mean, right
than
now
it
it's looking
was.
great, right?
They tried to name once or twice.
That's great.
Maybe it's always been there. There's crackage, breakage.
Yeah, we have done some repairs over there, but we need to do more. There's a lot
Yeah.
more to do.
Well,
There's a lot more to do.
limestone in the dirt.
Yeah, yes. Okay, and then one other thing I want to ask you about is, do you want to have the security company on the agenda to come and brief you at some point? You had talked about that, when you went ahead and did a contract for security, and if you do, should we do that in January? They started in October.
Yeah.
January would be good.
Okay,
Just do it once a quarter, kind of.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. All right, then I will follow up with them and get them scheduled sometime in January.
And can you have it on a day that they're here anyway? You don't make a special trip? or-
Yes, yes, unless the owner of the company wants to come,
Yeah.
because he's not, it's the other guys that are coming. Okay, I will have an FMLA, executive session that we're gonna need. It'll be a really short one. We were handed area fuel bids this morning, so we need to go ahead and take care of that.
I've reviewed, and EPS was low on all three areas. And their total was $14,174.30. The competing bid was $14,827.40. So I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Jonah for Epps bid. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kent. Do I hear any conversation? I don't have, so all those in favor of going with Epps, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay, in your packet, you had revised copier bids for the treasurer's office. She had a misunderstanding on her initial bid packet, And so she's just basically updated the Conica Minolta bid to $102. And
Stick with my original motion from the other day that, take the low bid from Conica Minolta.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Jonas, second by Dave Mueller, to stick to the original bid with Conica Minolta. Excuse me. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No.
okay,
Give her a thumbs up. She doesn't even come in.
Yeah.
now she has some other stuff
Oh,
to talk
okay.
about, she's out there.
Yeah.
Okay. At the back of your packet, we'll get back to the rescue stuff, but at the back of your packet, there's certification of voting delegate, and so KAC is holding a special election January 5th to see if they want to, if the membership wants to allow the human resources folks to be members. That's what the election is about, and so if you all want to vote in that, I need you to take action to appoint a voting delegate. And you don't have to do it today, but
Anybody have any reason to attend this?
How many counties?
they're not doing it,
It's electronic.
Virtual?
it's just virtual.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How many counties have human resource? Would half of the counties, would it be half of the counties?
Well, all counties deal with human resources.
Right, but I mean,
You
a
know,
human resource
they may not have a department,
that's
but
what I'm
every
talking-
single county is
Yeah, I'm
gonna
talking
need-
about a department.
I can't answer that question.
Well, I was just
I think a lot of them
thinking
probably-
out loud that gives the urban counties a bigger voice in KAC.
I mean, what is the pros and cons to this, I guess?
The cons is it gives the urban counties a bigger voice in what KAC is
Right.
doing. The pros, I don't know.
So do you all wanna appoint a voting delegate, and do you wanna do that today, or do we need to let you guys think about this?
We're gonna have some discussion here. Kent, what you said is one side, is the other side that I first thought of is, would it bring more information to a person some of the small counties, when they have their meetings, would it bring some more
That's a pro.
information for some
Sure.
smaller counties too, to maybe that ordinarily would not pick up on, and, so I sort of think that if it's part of our county operation, which we all know human resource is, my vote would be to allow it, but that's just I'm just sort of going right here. And I'm open for conversation here, if there's any other sides to the story that anybody can think of, we'll bring them out, and then we'll decide. The next thing I'm gonna ask is whether we do put a voting delegate up here for this.
And this is as an affiliate member, so that would be like, the different there are different associations that are affiliate members of KAC.
Correct.
Are they voting members of an affiliate?
I'd have to look at all the bylaws on all this.
I'm just thinking if it's not a voting delegate, well,
I can get a hold of the bylaws so that you have a little bit more information before you do that.
The way I'm seeing it is we got one up, one down. Anybody else, if everybody else is neutral, then I wouldn't know why we need a delegate.
I'm in favor.
We need somebody to vote yea or nay on January 5th.
yeah, but I think you still need a voting delegate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got,
Okay.
But I'm trying to get the opinion of the commission too,
Right, so that voting delegate goes with the right intentions.
Well, you have two
Yes,
issues.
yes.
At the direction.
Yeah, is that a directive?
Oh,
Brad, you
that's
know
what,
you get
that's what a
involved
delegate is supposed to do when you elect a
so you might know
delegate.
whether put Randy or Ken.
Right.
Leave us out, we're on both sides of the table.
Which way are we going with this, up or down?
Hmm.
That way we'll determine who the delegate is.
Human resources is a very important part of the whole scheme of things. I mean, everybody deals with it.
Yeah.
I guess
I
part of Dean
just-
is a human resource.
Straw poll. in favor of putting them on or not putting them on? I'm in favor of, and Dave Mueller's in favor. Anybody else in favor of putting them on?
I think the question is, we just need a voting delegate, then we can decide if there's
Okay,
a direction.
decide later what to tell them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd be glad to get those bylaws
Yeah.
reviewed, and so you
Yeah.
know if they would have
Okay.
a vote or not,
That-
before
that's
you
fine.
actually vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
A member or they on the board, I mean,
Okay, yeah, we'll find that out and see, but right now, who's gonna hold their hand up to attend this meeting?
it's virtual.
Yeah, who's gonna hold their hand up?
But I thought you just submit the ballot. I don't
No.
think you attended.
No, you got it 2 o'clock something.
2 to 3.
2 to 3, January 5th.
I'll do it.
Dave Mueller, I make a motion to appoint Dave Mueller as a delegate to this meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jonah. All those in favor say aye.
Oh, would we need an alternate?
We can do that on a separate
Okay.
motion if that's okay.
Voting delegate to start with is Dave Mueller, motion by me, second by Jonah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay, and then it does ask for a first and second alternate if you want to provide
Okay,
those.
so let's do that when we get the bylaws.
So I could be the first one.
You already have a motion, or have a hand up to volunteer?
I move to make Dave Crowfoot our first alternate.
I'd second. All those in favor say aye.
Hey, Chairman, you need to tell me who got that second.
All right,
Let's
Dave
get
Mueller
it
got the
rolling.
first and Kent Becker got the second.
Okay.
And,
At least it's done.
and Dave Crowfoot would be the
First,
job
the
for the
third,
second.
second, I got the third second.
Yeah, I think I had 3
Stay in the office
seconds.
and do I don't know.
Okay, I think,
One of us.
yeah, we're good then. Thank you.
You could definitely tell all the seconds that didn't want to go.
That's funny. Okay, so I have, you might remember that Marion County, our office, well, the county does the bookkeeping for Fire District Number 3, which is the Colfax Ramona Fire. They are building a new building. We've gone through all the process to help them bid out for a lease purchase. We've done a publication, we're doing a budget amendment, we're doing a lot of steps there to help them get that done. One of the they met and they approved a lease purchase bid from Marion National Bank, and I have the bids that they reviewed, that they had, and I've got a copy of their minutes where they accepted the bids from Marion National, the bid from Marion National. Generally, the county would not have to approve that. However, we are not sure at this point if Colfax Fire actually has their own sales tax number through the state of Kansas. I'm trying to find out. They're supposed to have their own because they're truly their own entity. But if they don't, we may end up having to do it under the county sales tax number for this particular lease purchase. And so if that is the case, then the Board of Commissioners also will need to approve this lease purchase. And can we do an approval? And I mean, if we don't need it, then we don't need it, but.
Yeah, go ahead and we just do the approval. And we don't have to necessarily put it in the motion, but you know, if they do have it and we are able to discover that, makes it moot. But that's what we can move ahead.
How many bids were there? Can you read them?
Yes.
Just the rate,
Oh.
the
Sorry.
rate and who submitted it?
I don't have the rate in the minutes here. I do have it all. Okay. So the bids were Marion National Bank, and the amount is $125,000. The bids were from Marion National Bank at 2.09, and then the grand total with fees and payments is $134,788.28. Central National Bank was 2.47%, and the total loan is $136,538.01. Community National Bank and Trust had 1.75% rate, but with their fees, the total loan was, I don't think that's right. That isn't right. There were more fees than that. It was, sorry.
No, Burns. They have a branch in Burns. They're not in Burns.
I thought there was another Vermont, Bank of Vermont.
No, there's no.
Oh, yeah, they had estimated closing costs of $2,000 added on.
Yeah.
So,
They do, we've seen theirs before they have.
so that would be $137,410.86. And so the bid that the fire district approved was the bid from Marion National because the overall cost was the lowest.
Right.
And that amount was $134,788.28, and the annual payment is $22,384.38.
That's a 5-year loan then? Is that 6?
6.
6-year loan.
Mhm.
Well, my question to you, Tina, is if the county has to overpay it, does that mean if they defaulted that we would be at fault somewhere? Or cover it?
The lease purchase agreement would be with the fire district.
Yeah, only.
They have to have the non-appropriation clause in
Okay.
the lease document, and they do have money budgeted for
Okay.
next year for the payment.
Okay.
So I don't know the answer to that
Yeah.
legal question, I don't.
Yeah, I noted in they were asked for, and Tina passed on to me, a opinion letter from legal counsel in terms of their
Okay.
voting in counties, et cetera.
Okay.
And I noted in there, because that question comes up periodically, that the county is not serving as a guarantor or is in no way supporting this in that, to that extent.
We're just a servicing agent.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
As a pass-through. So, and I've done 2 separate letters, one including this action and one without it, but if we do this today, that's the one that I'll give to you, so.
And so, would you want a motion, you say, or?
Yes, to approve the bid that they accepted.
I would move to make a motion for Marion National Bank, the loan for one grand total of $134,788.28 for Colfax Fire District, Lone Fire Station at 2.09%. That was my motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jonah. All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay, great. And if we do, if we find that they
Yep.
do have their sales tax exempt, then we'll be good.
Okay.
And if we find they don't, that will be happening after this, like right away.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. We do have, and it was in your packet, so last week you approved the $26,000 of rescue funds to go to the, to purchase rescue equipment for the Fire District Number 2, which is Gussel. And the quote that Matt had with him was for $29,590. They did get a donation, and so the quote, what he actually wants to order is not exactly the same as what he presented. What he actually wants to order is $34,940. Again, the county's portion will not change, it's still $26,000. They will pay the difference. And what I've asked him what the difference in the equipment is, and it's basically,
29,000.
what?
So the original quote was 29,000.
Right, but the county will only pay 26,
26.
and the fire district will pay the rest, yeah. And so, but I didn't just go ahead and move forward with the order, because I wanted you all to be aware and make sure it's okay.
Right.
So what he explained is that it's higher, these are higher voltage, and that it's got a battery that you can use underwater in the upgraded equipment.
So that makes it not as, the whole thing was being able to interchange batteries with other.
Department's equipment.
Yeah, or not changing.
Well, that's why
I mean,
I wanted to bring it to you also.
That's just so we can get it out here in the open. The main purpose for me to suggest that it be brought here is because the rescue funds is there. That's what we allotted. And what they went ahead and did is on their own. I mean, above that, we still are sitting at 26,000. That was mentioned where it would all be interchangeable, so this is just something a little veered a little different. It's always nice to get a little better equipment, and if you got somebody donating, like, you know, I think it's hard to turn down. But in the same token, though, will that, when they get on scene with somebody else, then if, you know, the batteries won't fit, maybe, I don't know whether they would or won't.
But would it,
change.
would it also be an asset to the county to have a battery that can operate underwater?
Oh,
on
that's
a
what I'm
vehicle?
saying, it's just, yeah, I don't know that it's my decision to do that. My decision is on the 26,000, and then in long run scheme of things, why somebody's gonna have to bring us some viewpoints why that shouldn't have been done or whatever. But this is just okay, continue the okay to give them the $26,000. That's all. Does anybody have any problems with, or voice your opinion if you have some?
I
have
think
no
it'd be a
problem.
great deal to have more versatile, better equipment. I mean, with the two lakes that we have, it could be something underwater someday.
Well, there's just as much flooding around some
Yeah.
of the areas there is over here and some of the other areas too, so.
Some deep ditches or.
Yeah, ditches can get just as deep as the river sometimes. Thank you for bringing it forward, Tina, and I just wanted on our meeting here, so if any other departments or anything has any questions, we know that we paid the same amount that we do for anything else. That's all I wanted to bring forward.
I'm just looking at, does the motion need any changes? Because we're
Okay.
approved. How's it go? After discussion, I'll move to approve the funding for the requested equipment.
I would feel better if you amended the motion, or made a new motion, based on the new
Allow the
quotes.
change.
Yeah.
Okay, since I made the first one, I'll make the motion here, unless, Joan, unless you have a way to make a motion that would be any better for
I
us.
would just make sure that we maintain to contribute 26,000 only
Okay,
for the assistance of Castle Fire number 2 and their equipment purchases.
okay. I have a motion by Jonah, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kent Becker, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? I see no nays. Unanimous.
Okay.
To assist with 26,000.
Yeah.
That's my motion.
Yeah.
Right, which we already had that, but,
Yeah.
what I would like to also have would be the approval of the upgraded equipment.
Yeah, after the
that the county
presentation
is
of the
okay.
alteration.
Yeah,
Through the
if we can
34,900
include,
hours.
it,
I
well,
would, I would
No.
include the.
Would it be just an acknowledgement, or do we need a motion?
Well, part of the motion, after presentation of the alteration or proposed change in the original scope of purchase, that would be sufficient, because you're not changing what your commitment is, but you are recognizing, yeah, we understand, they're getting something different than they originally presented that we approved. Now we're approving the 26,000 on the new equipment in terms of what they're intending to acquire.
so if you,
So,
yeah.
to amend it, that it includes that acknowledgement of the higher value
Value
equipment.
Okay,
Okay, that have an amendment to the motion, and I'd ask for that's Jonah's motion for the second, would you approve that?
Yes.
Okay, Kent, second amends that too, so all those in favor of that amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
okay. Thank you, I just
Yep.
wanted to be really clear.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, this is 5 years from now, reading that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will come back and say, we gave them this much.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, and so then, besides the FMLA approval, which we can do at the very end, so Susan doesn't have to wait anymore, under administrative, I had a note here that, a potential, planning commission board of zoning appeals appointments for the new term.
For District 4, Anita Seacat.
Making that motion.
Yes, to replace Kathleen Long
I'll second
on
that.
January 1.
Okay, have a motion by Dave to appoint Anita Seacat to the planning commission, starting January 1st,
Yes.
and second by Jonah. All those, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay. Sheesh, that's a lot of stuff.
So Dave and Dave both filled theirs.
Good morning.
Morning. You still got one open?
Yeah.
I still got two. I got one open.
Oh, no worries. I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
This is tax time last year,
That's not even funny.
It's all good. No worries.
Okay.
Well, I sent you a new memo regarding bids for copier, my favorite subject. And,
We already approved it.
oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you were sitting out there, I thought maybe you heard that part.
I did not, thank you.
Okay.
Do we want to, talk about anything else today, Tina? The
Oh,
job
well-
descriptions, or were you gonna do that at some other point?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you were wanting to ask them about reporting or something. Is that what you wanted to talk to them about?
About the what?
Reporting?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I
Okay.
think that's why you wanted to talk to them.
Okay.
Okay.
In the past, Janine had brought you a, I believe it was quarterly vehicle
Yeah.
account report. And I want to, of course, continue doing that. And Tina brought up a good question. There's no point in us doing these reports unless it serves a purpose, unless it helps you all understand what we're doing. And there is some information on that report that I didn't fully understand why it was there. And so I know that it probably was confusing for you all too, if I'm not quite sure either. So what we were talking about was maybe doing some sort of a more user-friendly report, so you could, we could all see together where we're at with the vehicle funds and all that. Because your concern was there wasn't any accounting process with that. It was just numbers pulled together and they didn't really add up to,
Yeah, there's no beginning balance, no.
Right.
There is an ending balance, but it shows the state funds coming in, but it doesn't show us paying them back out to the state, so you can't go and add the report up from top to bottom and make sense of
Right.
it.
Good
And so
balance.
that's what we were talking about. I
Right.
just was asking. And then also, I think there's another quarterly report that's not for the vehicle, that is,
No, it's the
cash on hand. And I think that there was some things on that report too that maybe you were questioning or.
What information do you want for the vehicle report? I mean, obviously you want to see what monies are there and how we're spending them, and I'm happy to share that information. The problem with the process that's been used in the past, not that it has to be continued to use, I can figure out another way of doing this, is that there isn't a clear-cut report like from our Quicken system to have that beginning balance, ending balance, and show everything in between. It's kind of a, it's Quicken, so it's what it
Doesn't have
is.
the export.
I'm sorry?
features. Doesn't have the export features, so.
Correct.
You can put it in your own format.
So, but I can get that information. I mean, this isn't, it's all there, it's just it'd be from different sources. And before, I think all of that information came from the Quicken balancing
Can you
system,
export
which has our deposits
Quicken
and
to
payments.
an Excel
Yeah,
spreadsheet?
But it may not work with all Quicken applications, I'm not sure.
But I can put together whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
It'd be nice to be able to have a beginning balance.
beginning balance.
Like a balance sheet.
Make your
Yeah.
own, make your own Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Right.
For me, it's to see all of it, money in, money out.
Yeah.
Your balance sheet.
You need to upgrade your program someday.
Yes, that's on my list to talk about at some point with other counties to see what they're using. Quicken is a great program if it's something really simple, because I used it across the street, and it's fine for some things, nothing wrong with it. But for something more complicated and more intricate that would be coming, I think I need something else other than Quicken.
We have a really good spreadsheet Susan already made up in our office that we use it's basically a bank book that shows ins and outs.
Yes.
I can share that with you
Okay.
if that would be
And
helpful.
I know other treasurers are using something similar to that.
Yeah,
So-
we use that when we're balancing all of your banking information.
Okay, that'd be great, I'd appreciate that.
Would that help your office though? I mean, if you use the same program, would it just import in? You wouldn't
Well,
have to
I mean, we don't do
entry?
anything with the vehicle stuff, but it might be an easy way for her to
Set it
track
up.
and then be
Yeah.
able to show you
Okay.
in just a printout.
Yeah, so I think once I kind of figure out what you all want, and then once I gather that information the first time, well, then we'll just input it daily and we'll just have a running spreadsheet daily. It'll just be one more step, one more thing for us to do, but we can sure do that. And then that way, monthly, quarterly, however you want it, I just push a button and print it. This first time around is gonna be more complicated, but, yeah, inventing the wheel. But it's not a problem, because let's talk about it, let's do it, and then once it's done, we're good to go.
Yeah, maybe make a change at the beginning of the year, if that's easier.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest.
Is it something that
You go 4 weeks.
Lloyd could map in, so that it would all come into an Excel and just done?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe that you can,
Talking about our,
just like to automatically populate
Just-
from your system
just-
to,
Oh,
I
no.
don't think that would be possible.
Because, if you map certain things, they can go to different programs.
Right.
Pull different lines, bring them into your Excel.
I don't think Quicken has that capability
Yeah, well, Excel, it would take somebody like Lloyd and
on the
an
Excel side.
program.
Because I'm familiar with the mapping now, since I've imported the taxes to the postal office. I'm familiar with the mapping project with AS400, but I'm not sure how that would work with the Quicken.
Bouncing stuff off of.
Oh, no, that's fine. I appreciate that conversation, because I want to give you what is most helpful. There's no point in doing all this if it doesn't give you the information.
I think the balance sheet keeps the most transparency.
And that's
That's what I'd
fine.
be for.
Yeah, that's just fine.
You've touched on a subject that I'm gonna speak to our legal counsel here about, and just ask our legal counsel a question in broad with elected people. Not just you, not Tina, not the sheriff, not the register of deeds, there's funds, that elected people have, in different departments. Some sort of tracking record, to me, and this is just my opinion, should be visible to the public. Is that a question that a commission can ask of our elected people? Or is that something that is a fund that's at their, and it is at their discretion? We don't overrule them, or we don't do anything about it. But I just think it's tractable to the public. It is money that's generated either by, let's take Susan's area, is generated by the tags and things, and goes into a check fund, maybe, I don't know if that's the right word.
No, it goes into vehicle.
Vehicle.
It goes into Quicken, this
Quickens.
vehicle fund.
But there is registered deeds, often gets a sort of a fund.
Okay.
Tina has a fund. I don't know if the sheriff has a fund too, drugs and things like that. It's all, just in general.
You're talking about outside of taxes. So-
Yeah.
So
Just-
I can answer that a little bit for you.
Okay.
So, yes, really, we are getting tracking, like on diversion, which is the county attorney's
Yeah.
fund, that they have their discretion what they're spending it on, but, so we do, all of those funds come through our county bookkeeping and through our, like the county, the register of deeds tech fund. I think we've converted that now to where we pay it through the regular payday process. It used to be that they just could spend it, but we have brought all those under the umbrella of the county. So like the sheriff's drug fund is under there, my tech fund, the treasurer's tech fund, the deeds tech fund, all those funds are under the county umbrella, except the vehicle fund.
Except the
It is
vehicle.
not.
And that's statute.
Mhm.
That's state statute.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to see, I mean, because the auditors look at our vehicle processes and our
Right,
funds
it
and
is
our.
audited.
Yes, it's very, very much audited.
Okay.
And, if there's any, but it's available for, I'd have to check my statute to see what is public information, but, really that Quicken program is printable,
Yeah.
so if somebody wants to see the last month's Quicken expenses, vehicle, the vehicle fund, I can print that very
But
easily.
they are published as part of the budget but maybe.
It shows in the financial statements, and it's also shows on your monthly reports at payday time, and budget reports. And you know, what Susan is talking about doing with changing the format of her reporting, I think that really solves your transparency problem. If she brings that to you quarterly, then that's easily.
And that's what I want to do. Because Tina brought up a really good question, because I was just kind of plowing through it like it's always been done, you know, because I don't want to really change anything too terribly much for a while until I kind of get a feel for what I'm doing. And so, but Tina brought up a really good question, because she was questioning how this
How to
number
read
came
it.
about.
Yeah, how to
And
get
I
the
said,
amount.
You know, that brings up a really good question, because if she's not understanding it totally, I'm sure you have some questions, and there's no point in doing all this if it's not serving the purpose of informing.
Yeah, that's the accounting brain in me. I was like, I can't add these numbers up.
And I'm glad you said something. I'm glad you said something, because there's no point in doing all this if it's not serving a purpose.
Right.
Other than a piece of paper with information.
Well,
So-
I just want accountability, that's all I'm asking for.
Oh, and I'm all about that.
That's the bottom line to my question, was accountability of all, not just you, all staff, all funds that become available to the public. I mean, there may be some things that you can't say.
With very few exceptions, aggregated line items like that are all public information and readily available. I get those requests periodically in other entities. For example, in a county setting, like the Sheriff's Department on forfeitures, there's some people who are very interested in what they make off of all this stuff that they seized. And that is absolutely available. There are limitations to what you can do. You can kind of drill down and get specific names in certain instances.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the question you're asking, yes, that's available.
And also the sheriff's and the attorney's forfeiture funds are shown in our general
Yeah.
accounting,
Cool.
just for your information.
Good.
Now, the only thing in quick, and I appreciate the comment, is any tag numbers, VIN,
Exactly.
VINs, that sort of thing. But
That's what I
was
mean by
kind of-
exceptions.
Right. But
If we do an
everything else
inspection
in there is
service,
public information.
Some of that's included in some of the paperwork, that
Yes.
is redacted, but
Right.
the numbers, which is really what you're interested
Yes,
in knowing
right.
and the accountability of, are
Incoming,
available.
outgoing, yeah.
Any questions by any of the commissioners? Susan, thank you for bringing this forward.
Oh, sure.
Appreciate it.
I'll put something together. Tina and I will kind of talk about maybe getting this worked out
Okay.
after the first of the year.
Yes.
Let's get through tax time.
And then, actually,
Oh, yeah.
did you have a chance to talk with Brad about the tax?
I was just about to bring that up.
Yes,
That's
you
what I was
did.
just
Always
about to
beats me
ask.
to it. Yes, we talked last
Okay,
Tuesday.
good,
On
good.
Monday, I gave that to Susan. She looked at it right away, which I appreciated.
Oh,
We
yeah.
went through it and that's approved, unless she's come up with something
Okay,
since then.
just want to make sure you didn't see something.
No, actually, I thought it was very well written. I had a couple of questions.
Yes.
I think we talked that out where if we can keep it to somebody local, I think you're talking about going after bids anyway or whatever. And then you got my one from
I did,
that. Okay,
thank
good.
you.
Good.
That helps too in terms of
Yes,
some things
okay,
that we're working with,
perfect.
so.
Good. I just want to make
Yes,
sure you had
thank
a chance. to
Because this
review
is
it.
something I want us to stay on top of this.
Good.
course.
And this is a good
December
plan.
2nd still, not this year, but years going
December
forward.
2nd is the date that the list would be available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's the only thing in there that I saw.
Right.
So, before Susan leaves, she mentioned job description. She has done some job description edits. And so that'll be coming to you all once we have a chance to review it, and we'll get it to you to approve. We may need to get I may need to see about getting a little help from the consultant as far as some new placements or some things, which we need to probably do with Road and Bridge anyway. So anyway, just giving you a heads up that that's coming.
That's what my question was gonna be, but she already answered it in the same sentence.
And Tina has some good ideas with tweaking the job descriptions rather than changing them all, and I'm open to that in favor of that.
Since you opened that can, I'm gonna open the can just a little wider. We have had a meeting with one department lately and just listened to some discussions on their department, on positions and different things. So, I'm really like the commission to sort of look forward to where we're putting it on the agenda and what we're gonna do with the meeting that we had, and we'll put, maybe we need to put it on the agenda and talk about what we heard at that meeting, and, you know, because what I'm saying is, I don't wanna take and do one department and another department sitting here, saying what's gonna happen to us.
Same questions?
Yeah, same question, so anyway, so if we don't act upon you real quick,
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just trying to open my commission eyes
I
to what
had,
I do.
I've had a year and a half to think about all this stuff.
Okay.
And I've been working on it for a year, working on a lot of stuff for a year and a half, so bear
Okay.
with me as well.
Yes, no problem, Susan,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here's some updated regs for your planning and zoning
That looks
books.
I made it fatter.
There you go, it's replacing
Oh,
some
take others out.
previous, so she's got instructions there on what to do.
I would say, pretty soon it'll be like the NEC, it'll be just a book that never shrinks.
And just a reminder, I do have one executive session for personnel for FMLA request. But it would only need to be a couple minutes. It's,
Yeah. Are we at that point right now?
just before we leave, so what, I don't know if you have other business that you need to do.
It's not on the agenda, executive session here is probably the only thing we need to take care of, unless somebody else has something. We
Did
don't
you
have
have
commission
something?
comments or anything today, so.
Okay.
Well, when we get through the that, that'll address
He's got some comments.
at the end. Or do you wanna do it now?
Comments before we go into exec, so we shouldn't have to pop in and out of the meeting.
Yeah, I just assumed before we go into executive session, do it now, Dave, if you,
Okay.
commission comment, yes.
Yeah, you ready?
Mhm, yes.
Okay. Well, you brought it up, we've had the road and bridge meeting, what, 4 weeks ago with employees, are we gonna do anything or not?
Well,
3 weeks?
it was a little while ago, but there was also some other issues that were out of our control. Because we need to, in my opinion, we need to have a work session with Bryce, but unable to for a while.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
Because we heard from the employees, now we need to have a sit down with Bryce.
Can we schedule that?
How about, from what you're saying, I like that, but I think we have 2 supervisors in
Yeah.
that department, so both, I'm asking the commission how they would like to feel about this too. I mean, I'm just, Bryce is in charge,
I'd be in favor of having both of them.
and so.
I would also.
Yeah, so, I think, but you're right, Dave, it needs to be scheduled, but due to some problems with exterior things with Bryce and things that he's going through, one would be a proper time, do you think? I don't know where he stands right now, and, you know, I've never heard about his.
I guess all I'd ask is the chairman then to work with the department head and schedule.
Okay,
a work
schedule,
session.
okay,
Would that work?
Yeah,
But let's let our employees know we're not
right,
just sitting on it.
right. Excuse me.
But you're right, the timing of it and scheduling is gonna be an issue, but if you would go
Okay.
ahead and take.
Okay.
That way, the employees know that we are moving forward with
Okay.
scheduling.
Could you shoot for a Wednesday? Is that possible, a Wednesday meeting?
Wednesday meeting? I don't see why it couldn't. And late afternoon meeting with those 2, 3 o'clock meeting?
I could do any time.
Oh, anytime?
Yeah.
How about other people?
Thank you.
Okay,
If not, I can always remote it.
okay.
We have that capability.
Okay, excuse me.
It's very nice.
I will give you an answer, next Monday is our next meeting, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I can have an answer to that for next Monday, and see what,
Okay.
okay?
Next one I had was on the local road safety plan. I think that grant application is due tomorrow. Are we going to give a direction, or does the road and bridge supervisor just make that application?
I thought he was already getting it turned in by Wednesday, the way I interpreted it.
Okay, that's what it's going.
Maybe we better clarify it with him.
Because the way I remember, there were 2 options presented last week,
Well, there was a,
and we got an email with
Yeah.
that information. I'm just
I
asking for
didn't
clarification.
see any option 1 or 2 in the email, so I assumed he was, maybe that's my bad, I assumed he was going.
Do you want me to try to call him?
Yes, yes, please.
Good.
This
Yeah.
is, his truck's not there.
Just to confirm that.
Yeah.
And then the final one was the rescue plan funds, if we could have that on next week's agenda. Rescue,
what?
rescue plan funds. I know we talked about getting the framework going, but at the same time, if we could move forward, making plans on our retroactive premium pay plan, so that once that framework's in place, we're ready to move.
Okay,
I'm
is
just
there
asking-
information that you need for that?
Well, I think they were working on hourly, so we have to have hours. Or
We were waiting on the frame.
we're waiting on the framework, but then once you get the framework,
Right.
then you have to determine the hours for 2020 would be from April through the end of the year.
Okay, so putting it on the agenda to discuss and figure out what you want
Yeah.
is fine, but I will not have I can tell you, I will not have a
Okay.
chance to get all those hours
Sure.
I won't have that ready. I won't be
Okay.
able to do that fast.
Okay. But
Plus, because I'm reviewing 200 pages of framework documents right now.
Right.
Tina, that's very acceptable. How, I would like to ask you though, by the December 15th, is there anything that this commission could possibly look at for some different options to do something? I mean, your framework is pretty important.
Well, the framework-
Well, I
first.
think
Yeah.
if the commission puts it on the agenda and decides what they want to, what if they're even thinking of doing.
Exactly.
Would
Give
be
you- at
helpful.
least
Is
give
that
you some
what you're
direction.
talking about?
Yeah.
Because then it'll help us to be able to gather the
Yes.
information and to know where we're going.
It's just, I'm trying to get all the cats narrowed into a little closer.
Get everybody going the same direction.
Right.
Call us cats.
Okay.
Rabbits?
Just to, and I don't know what Tina's framework is, but would a general one figure be good for everybody? Or are you
Well,
doing this class?
That's part of the whole discussion.
Okay.
We've got to have this whole discussion.
Okay.
So you're just asking to put the discussion on?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that
Right.
you understand that there may not be a lot of extra
Right.
information available.
Right, and what I'm seeing is there's 5 different opinions on how to go.
Yep.
And why should you have to prepare 5 different proposals?
Bless you.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Okay, so that discussion you want on the agenda just to talk?
Yes.
Not, okay,
Is
okay.
that to answer a question like you just brought up?
Yeah,
Well,
that's,
What is the wish of the commission?
Yeah.
How are we gonna move forward? That way,
Okay.
when that framework's in place,
okay.
we can move, and then not start another whole
Okay.
month-long, 2-month.
Okay.
3-month
And
long.
just so you all know, I've got a phone call with Swindle Jansen, Honk and Lloyd this afternoon because we had initially, there was a lost revenue calculation that was in the $500,000
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
Which is what I reported. And then they felt that it needed to be updated. They think it's closer to 900 and some odd, but I disagree with their number. So I feel like there's some duplications in there. So we're gonna talk through that this afternoon. So by Monday, we should know the actual figure and where we're looking at for the lost revenue, because I think that's an important piece for you all.
Yep.
Because that lost revenue piece you can use basically for whatever, without a lot of restriction, so.
I did pick up on that. When they were talking about the framework, they kept talking about $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million. And I was like-
Yeah, the lost revenue that we reported was, I think, 491 or 490 something, and, they're saying now 900 and something, and I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page with the numbers.
So what is lost revenue? An example.
COVID related.
It's it's basically showing that the county's overall income, less certain things that we set aside, was reduced
Yeah.
during the COVID year.
It's a prediction on what it would have been, because it could have been higher.
Yeah, you can calculate
and then you
based
get
on
brought down.
a growth income, and, so we did have some lost revenue. And I knew that we did in some of the vehicle stuff, some of the driver's license type things, you know. So we'll see what overall it
It's
is.
still amazing, it was $500,000 a year
Yeah.
numbers. And it's even amazing if it was $1 million.
The ripple
It's like,
effect is amazing. Consequential
nobody
revenue
thinks
loss.
about the
How
nickels
much
and
it
dimes.
is, yeah.
Okay.
So, to answer your question, Dave, number one, I'll meet with Bryce, see when we can get meeting with him.
Thank you.
Number two that you've asked for is to get it on the agenda, on just discussion. And still with what you've heard from Tina and everything, how soon would you think it would be possible to have that discussion, just from right now, without any framework or discussion period?
I was just gonna put on next agenda.
Okay.
If that's okay with
Okay.
everyone?
Okay.
That way we can start narrowing.
Okay.
it.
Is there a certain
Alright.
amount of time you want?
Whatever you think's appropriate. You
At least 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30, 45 minutes.
30 minutes.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Okay,
Okay, now are we on the same page, everybody?
Could I add on these?
Yes, go right ahead.
Just ARPA/infrastructure. Probably ought to kick a thought around or two.
okay.
And the other thing is,
I won't be here. I'm available by phone, but I won't be here Monday.
we just
Oh,
got,
I'm sorry, you told me that too. That was,
Do we need to put it on the next?
we could
Don't
have
let-
both,
don't let me
really.
slow anyone
I'd
down.
I'd
I
still
mean,
like to keep the.
I think we
discussion
need to keep
going.
moving
To
forward.
keep the conversation alive.
Yeah.
So just keep.
And
okay.
Ken, if there are any things that you want to put forward as far as the rescue money,
yeah.
you know, if you have a list or something of things that you
No,
want.
no, I
You
think
can always
the
bring that up
discussion
ahead.
needs to-
I
Okay.
think you could send it to her.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, if you think it's
I
something
think
you
with
want
this
to clear.
discussion, we're probably not making any
Yeah,
decisions.
no, it won't be no decisions.
We
I
can't,
don't think, but,
we can't without the framework. so.
Right.
Yeah.
We already tried once and then we got it all pulled back.
And last but not least,
we're gonna do that.
last but not least, Brad, what do you have to push forward here?
Well, next
I
week
do.
we'll do the policies, right?
Yes.
We will approve those policies. Next week is also.
They're
the
already,
land
I
bank.
assume you guys want to do that.
Yep.
The only thing we waited on with regard to this
Right.
was Susan.
That's
She
taken
talked
care of,
to her
yeah.
right away last week, so.
Next week, get them done. Land bank is next week.
Something that, just opinion and probably legal advice. If one of our grounds or facilities has some theft, employee has some of their personal items there, and those are also stolen. Is there anything that the county can do, or is that not? Or is it just cut and dry that their stuff shouldn't have been there?
Pretty much.
Do they have a household insurance they could claim it on?
Don't know how that works when it's,
It's
I'm
possible.
just
I mean,
checking.
Yeah, typically if it's personal property, yeah, there's several what-ifs to that, but
It's-
generally you're responsible for personal property if you bring that, and it's not, we can't relate it to some business activity that you needed it for, or some way
Well, it
that
was,
they're.
what I'm
Okay.
referring to right
Let's-
now is tools,
Yeah.
so.
How would you handle that in your own personal company?
Well, I don't have to answer to no taxpayer, so.
Well, that's- and I agree to
just
that.
cover it because they were using it for me.
But I'm using that, the same token is if somebody brings a tool and they use it every day to do something on their equipment, and the county has not purchased it yet, the supervisor knows that this person uses that tool every day.
That would be a little different potentially.
Okay.
It's
So,
indoors.
okay.
I think he'd have a claim under his own personal insurance, but, you know, depends on the deductible too.
I think Tina desperately wishes to interject.
Okay. I did not hear the huffs.
I can
or the
feel
eye
the
rolls.
tension.
Ah.
Is it getting warm over there?
My head's gonna explode pretty soon.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so, if it's like, a lot of the mechanics, if they have their own tools, those are, actually, we do carry, I believe, a rider for that.
Rider.
Now, it has to be listed.
Yep.
And it has to be, it's not just any random personal property, it would have to be something that they brought specifically to do their job. And really, the only thing we have specifically listed for that kind of a situation is tools for mechanics.
Because otherwise it gets to be out of control. Somebody went on Black Friday and bought a new flat screen TV. They left it in their truck and they came to work and the truck got broken into and it got taken out of a parking lot. Are we responsible? No. So it's kind of this broad spectrum, but what Tina's describing is yes, that's why I was saying it depends on whether the supervisor knows that it's endorsed. That's what that rider is generally to cover.
I would think,
It's gotta be on an inventory list then.
Yeah,
I would think that our supervisor should be aware of
Yep.
this employee's involvement and maybe bring it to Tina if that's,
Yeah.
I would think so. 'Cause
and if it's
Well,
a
just-
common practice
just
and
one-
something that they bring all the time and utilize for the benefit of their employer,
Yeah.
that's a very different situation than something we have no knowledge of, didn't ask them to bring,
Yeah.
isn't there for any other particular reason other than they just chose to do so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know the price of some, one thing you mentioned to me earlier today, and they ain't cheap. 'Cause, yeah. and-
Yeah, some of it's just, when stuff gets stolen, it just ticks you off more than anything.
We've got it going on in Peabody, there was.
Oh, yeah.
there
I think
was-
it's-
They're breaking into
Connected.
buildings down there in town, and I think there's about $1,500, $2,000 worth of stuff stolen out of one garage here just this last week, 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
Happens on the farms
Yeah,
all the time.
oh, the farm is terrible. Any other things in the meeting here that, Tina, do you have any final things?
Well, the last thing I have is that FMLA approval.
Yep.
And, it kind of depends on whether you want to look at any of the information, or you want, or if you just want to, it is a qualified individual, whether you just want to make a motion to approve. So you could
That's what
do
we
it
have
either
done
way.
in the past, as long as there's a qualified individual.
And then the chairman can just stop by my office to sign the
Mhm.
designation notice, so it's up to
As long as it's
the
a
board.
qualified individual, I'll make the motion for the chairman to approve, to sign the approval.
Okay. I have a motion by Jonah for the chairman to sign if it's a qualified FMLE employee for Marion County. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Dave
Mueller.
Yeah, Dave second, Dave Mueller second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0.
Okay.
Okay, I move that we go, whoops. Oh, we don't have to.
No.
Don't have to.
No.
Just step by my
doing to us?
office before
Yeah.
you leave, so.
Yes, I would, I'd make the motion to adjourn unless anybody has any more comments. Nope. Seconds first, so.
There, on that road deal, there's 2 options.
Yeah, we
got.
Oh, I didn't
got
call
one
Bryce.
right.
Did you want me to?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, do that.
With it, that's just the bare minimum. This is the one with shoulders, all that stuff.
You may have to withdraw your motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I will withdraw my motion.
And I'm guessing-
I'll withdraw my
10
And I'm
minutes.
guessing that's what.
Yes,
Or
it is.
withdrawal period, yes.
Yeah.
He's submitting two.
This one.
Well, there's 2 options there, but we just need to know that it's been submitted, I guess.
Solar.
And whether it's been 2 options.
She doesn't have
At
to
the
ask
second
Greg about
option,
this.
or at the first,
She knows that
On
we
that.
can't fix the roads at the lake.
on the road project.
Well, just a few things.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to map. Straight on.
Jim,
What road? That is 2-9.
Jim and Dent would like you to stop by the office, I got some questions.
Okay.
Our computer guy, can you do that after the meeting?
Yeah. Jim.
Denzel, he's a computer tech,
Oh, okay.
he's the reason behind the generator. We can have,
Nobody else called him, right?
Not yet.
Just wanna make sure.
get 3 phone calls at the same time. huh?
Right. He's not answering, I'm not sure if he's available. I'm not getting him.
Okay, with that, I will,
Well,
do you have a choice there, Kent? that
Well, I mean, you got, it's list, I mean, there's 2 options
Yeah.
under there.
Right.
You know, the bare minimum, and then the next one's everything that, you know, shoulder.
but it's all on one application. Two
Yeah.
different pages.
Yeah, I don't know,
Application.
so I don't know if you submit for one or you submit for both.
That's why I was
I guess
asking.
that's a good question.
Bryce said it had to be, I mean, his email said it had to be turned in, so he knows it's
Tomorrow.
due.
Right.
Right, yeah, and
Well,
where
he
you
sent
just
us an email
Yeah.
saying it's due tomorrow, so.
I think what you were asking, Commissioner Mueller, was what direction the board wants to give Bryce on that, right?
Exactly.
So, if I get a hold of him and ask, which option are you looking at? You know, ask him what he's done. Which one do you want turned in?
Speaking out loud, or
Yeah.
thinking out loud.
Okay.
The one that gives us the most chance of getting it.
Okay.
That's usually
Let him choose.
the go-to answer.
Well, that's what, he would have more information than we do.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't wanna let it slip through the cracks.
Right, especially when it can ride, sounds like it could be ride in tandem on the other one.
Right. But I need to know how
Right.
it works.
And that's just from K-15 to Nighthawk,
Yeah.
both.
So it's 6 miles out of the 14.
Yeah.
Well,
So there's no guidance or nothing that,
I can't remember what the email
that you wanted
said.
to?
It says,
No, the actual verbiage of his email.
It says, here's the local road safety plan information for 290th from K-15 to Nighthawk. They recommend adding paved shoulders, extending culverts if needed, and new striping and edge rumble strips. And he says, I will work this up for the high-risk rural road program that is due on Wednesday. And maybe if we get it, then our cost share for the remaining portion would be less.
So I interpret it as he's turning it in.
okay. All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn now.
Second.
Second by Jonah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.